Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Welcome to the stream. The reaction to last night's FA Cup fifth round. West Ham 2, Bees 2. Extra time, still 2-2. So I went to penalties, and West Ham beat us 5-3 on penalties. Mainly due to one dumb, stupid, absolutely idiotic, embarrassing Panenka attempt at a Panenka. From a very good footballer, it has to be said, a pretty decent footballer. But what is entering that man's mind to do a Panenka in an important penalty shootout to get into a quarter-final of the FA Cup? And the man I'm talking about is Dango, who I really thought was a very good player for us. Very good signing for Bournemouth, I thought. I thought this really top player. I mean, we got a very good player on the hands, you know. You know, done a bit recently, got us through, got the goal for against Aston Villa. Got us through, got us 3 points there in the Premier. When we were down to 10 men, in fact, and got us the winner there. And so, he's got some credit in the bank, I guess, as well. But I can't let him off with this. I just cannot let the guy off. You do not do a Panenka like that. And one that goes disastrously wrong, you got totally wrong in a penalty shootout when it matters to get into a quarter-final. And by the way, guys, this was the reason I didn't start probably on time at 1:20. I just know I'm going to go off on a rant here. I'm going to lose my shit because I was actually quite calm last night in a way when it happened. I was doing my watch-along, of course, yesterday. And I had to go through, obviously, this penalty shootout, so I had to commentate on that watch-along. At the time, I I didn't go mad. I should have done. I think I should have done. But I was probably in a bit of disbelief, to be honest, because, you know, we've seen these happen before. People try these Panenkas. When they think these players try this, they think they're that great a player, or they've had that great a game. They've got that amazing ability to pull that off. Well, not everyone has. Not every top footballer has pulled off these Panenkas in big games. It hasn't happened. I mean, go back to Gary Lineker when he failed to do one in an international, I believe. And I'm going to go through these in a little while. I've got a list of fouled Panenkas. And Watari's on that list now. You know, I know I said on the stream yesterday that in a way I didn't care if we do go out because we're going for Europe, and an FA Cup run is not majorly important to me because I know we're trying to get European place in Europe, but in the Premier. But the thing is, I didn't mind it so much if we went out properly. Not with a stupid, fucking useless, dumb penalty like that. You do not do that in an important game. I could have accepted this properly, and I was going to, that we may go out. And to lose on penalties in a way is not so bad against West Ham because, you know, we actually done all right in the game itself. I thought we was okay at most of the time. We come back well from 1-0 down and then 2-1 down twice to get back in it. And we probably could have easily even won it as well. And we could have, by the way, we should have had a penalty as well. More poor refereeing, let's be honest. The referee trying to probably let VAR take over yet again. and take the decision out of his hands and say, well, no, that wasn't a penalty. When in fact the guy stood on Shardy's foot, didn't touch the ball, stood on his foot, he went down. That's a penalty all day long. So I know I don't want to sound biased. I know it's my team, the Bees. I love the Bees, of course, and I'm not being biased, but that was a fucking penalty all day long. It was a penalty. Anyone could see it was. They showed coverage again. They showed it once again. He trod on his foot, went down. He didn't even touch the ball. That is a stone wall penalty. A stone wall penalty. Not given. Of course, they went to VAR for their penalty. And yes, I think it was it shot? Not who was it who prodded it through the guys at Coyote tried to get the ball through the guy's legs and ended up kicking him anyway down. I think it was Somerville. But yes, that was a penalty. Of course, that was. Definitely didn't get the ball and he kicked in. But then why, why is it one rule for one and one for another that the other team won't get that? Yeah, right. Oh, is it because it's at West Ham? It's at London Stadium. Is that possibly why? Is that the rule? Because the fact that our players got fouled as well, the guy kicked him and not the ball, touched him and not the ball. So why is that not allowed? Why is that not given as a penalty? The rule. What are the rules here? I want to know totally because that was a stonewall penalty as well. So if you're going to give one, well, one was pretty clear as well. The other one was clear because he did catch him. But so was this. Shardo was caught without the other guy didn't get the ball. It was a penalty all day long. A fucking absolute stonewall penalty. So we had that against us as well. And that does not excuse what Ratara done with that penalty. That does not excuse it whatsoever. Shit decisions in the game again and VAR being absolutely useless or the referee being useless and the officials just leaving it to VAR now. Oh, we'll take it. It's not in our hands anymore. I'm not the referee. I'm not bothered. We'll let VAR take over because that's what they do and give them all the decisions. Why not? And they've got it wrong yet again. And it is poor. It is terrible. It is fucking terrible. So what do? I think they should just scrap this thing. Let's go back to how it was before. Trial and error anyway. Let's be honest. Either referees give it or they won't. Let's just give it. Let's just go back to that. I do think they should have that some sort of rule for the offsides. I do feel that's right how they're doing that. Maybe, although the only thing is you have to always check things now. Anyway, for any goal, there's always something being checked. So offsides or fouls or whatever. And yes, to be honest, I know we can say that saved us that time. What was it? I think it was against Newcastle, wasn't it? When was it against Newcastle? No, Villa. Sorry, Villa. And it went right back to when the ball had gone out. It gone out actually for a throw. It gone over the line. That wasn't picked up before. And it gone all the way over, and of course Villa scored from that after that. But VAR took it all the way back and disallowed it because the ball had gone over the line for a throw. So yes, we got that was for us. We got a plus for us that time with VAR. So yeah, I can't be moaning, can I? Because VAR has worked for us as well. And Villa got the goal, had the goal disallowed, rightly, because the ball had gone out, all the way out over the line. So yeah, but I still think it's there's something so dodgy and wrong now. These referees just feel they're not in control anymore, and were they ever really in control anyway? Because half of them are a load of shit anyway. Let's be honest, but you know it's even more so now because VAR has taken control, absolute control. And it's gone to shit. It really has gone to shit. But I'm still going to go back to the fact that Dango Ouattara done a stupid, cocky little dink of a penalty that was not called for. Panenka, that he fucked up disastrously. Marvellously fucked it up. Spectacularly fucked it up. And it cost us in the penalty shootout. It cost us that thing that Ouattara done, the alleged so-called Panenka. That it was supposed to be a Panenka. And I wish that had never happened in football before, because you know it's still so famous. I know it happened a fair while back. I mean, we've got to say probably was it late 70s, early 80s when the guy Panenka scored it. The footballer Panenka scored with that. We're going a long way back, of course, but I sort of wish that had never happened in the first place. That nobody could refer to that to ever try and copy that ever in football, because it does not always work. Yeah. And be up to you, my friend there, I am Titanium, or Bilal. I'll call you Bilal, mate. Well, that is your name, isn't it? You weren't born I am Titanium, were you? So, so your name's Bilal, mate. Anyway, but was it the decisive kick? I guess not. Probably wasn't. But it still sort of, led to that. That was the only one that was missed. The only penalty miss was his because of that. All the rest were great penalties, proper penalties. Not little dinks. They were decisive penalties. They were in a corner, top corner, or on the side of the goal, hit properly. Not a little not a little dinky thing. Properly hit. Penalties. That's all he needed to do. That is all he needed to do, was hit it properly. Not try to be clever. Not cocky. Not arrogant. Just smack it one side as hard as you can or something. Because that's the way that they were scoring. That's the way they were going in. You don't have to be too clever. You do not. I would have rather he hit it hard, quick, or, give it some welly. And if he'd saved it, so what? So be it. But at least he put more effort into it and not try to be too clever, not try to be too fancy Dan and think you're fucking a major well player, footballer. When you're not, you're still a very good player. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But when you're trying something like that in a penalty shootout, no. You go down in my estimation with that. And that's what happened, because you look a total prick. You look a total plonker doing it, and it goes wrong. Because the goalie just stands there like that and gets it. Just stood there. And here you go. It's like a pass back. Okay, everyone thinks I'm having major go at him. I'm really slagging him off big time. And other players have done that. Other players have done it. We know that. We've seen it recently. That happened against us. That Lefay for Sunderland. What, they had a penalty. He tried a Panenka. I think he'd done more with it than this Ouattara did. But again, that was straight down the middle and collected by Kelleher easily. So we know it's happened against us. But does that make it right? Does that make it right to do it, to try it? It happens, Mr. B. He'll learn from this. Well, I fucking hope he does. And to be quite honest with you, if the discipline's there, what I've heard of this Andrews, if he really does get angry and annoyed and pissed off and not happy with things, he should leave this guy out, fine him or whatever, or leave him out a few matches, put someone else in, make a statement and say, we do not like this sort of thing happening. What gave you the right to do that penalty in a big game like this? What was going through your mind to do that? And to be honest, we don't want this. We don't want that. We don't want you to do that in a game. I'm going to leave you out. I'm going to leave you out for your games. I'm going to bring in someone else like Ramel Donovan. He was very good last night when he came on. He was really good, Ramel Donovan, actually, when he came on. I would put him in over there. I'll put somebody else in. I know people say, well, you ain't got that much else. You ain't got that many other fantastic players that you could play over there. Well, I don't know about that. I think Ramel Donovan's pretty decent. And, we have got other players who could probably go over there on the right. I don't know. Probably Reece Nelson. I mean, you can't say he's fantastic either, but you've got to make a statement and say, look, we're not having this. We're not taking this sort of thing. You can't be doing this in the game. It's not unacceptable. We won't accept this. Because otherwise, he'd probably play again now. He'd probably play against Wolves. And yeah, I know it's only Wolves, but Wolves are doing really well. And what about if nobody else could take a penalty, he's the only one, and decides to do something like that again? Well, no, I fucking hope he wouldn't. I hope he would think about it and take a proper one. Yeah, I don't blame him for trying it against Areola. Terrible goalkeeper. Well, the worst goalkeeper in the world could stop that, though. Save that. Fucking Mark Flecken would have stopped that when we had him. Fucking hell, yeah. Anyone, any goalie would have stopped that. I didn't watch it as bad as. Didn't watch it. Was it as bad as the Brahim Diaz one? Well, I never actually see the Brahim Diaz one, mate, so I don't know. But it was pretty fucking bad. It wasn't good at all. It was just like a little sort of dinky thing, floaty thing that went in the air. The goalie just stood there and went like that. Caught it like that. Didn't have to move. It was that poor. And it made him look a total twat, an absolute idiot for doing that. And, that is embarrassing. It was totally embarrassing. And I would have, in a way, I wouldn't have minded if he just hit it, or might have hit the bar, gone over the bar, or hit the post, or gone past, rather than try that. Because in a way, I wasn't too bothered about if we're going out the FA Cup, because I know we are mainly going for Europe in the Premier, and that's the thing we're mainly trying to achieve, is getting into Europe, as far as I'm concerned. This was just an aside. It was just a bonus if it would happen, if we got into the quarterfinals and got further in the FA Cup. That's just another sort of bonus in a way. And I would have been okay. But the way this happened has annoyed me. It's absolutely annoyed me. And if that was me as the manager, I would be telling him, no, you can't be doing that. I'm leaving you out. I'm kicking you out for so many games, or I'm going to fine you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to totally discipline you, because you can't do that. It's costing you a game. It's costing you penalties. A penalty shootout, because all the other penalties were superb. Proper penalties. And this guy tries that. The only one to fuck up with a penalty. The only one. It's unacceptable to me. That is unacceptable. What makes you think you can try something different that the others are doing, aren't doing? Why try something else? Because all the other things were working. All the other penalties were working. Why try and be any different to what the others are? What's the point? I just don't know. I just don't understand it. I'd like to know what was going through his head. I really would. And I'm going to go into all these articles, because I've got obviously ones about the game, but I'm going to go through the ones that are sort of unbiased towards the bees, because when I do the bees on their website, we're more towards, like, we're not condoning or condemning anyone, whatever they're doing. We're not coming down on them like a ton of bricks. We're sort of, bees players, we're not sort of like ripping them to shreds in those articles. So I'm going to start with unbiased articles regarding this game. And you will be able to see, you will know the difference here. You will see the difference. And I've also got, as I say, I've got a list about the worst Panenkas and things like that. I'm going to go through that at the end. But I'm getting into this. I'm going to get into these articles now. And let's start. Which one should I start with? This one. This is on Sky. Sky Sports. And there we go. Right. West Ham 2, Bees 2, 5-3 West Ham on penalties after extra time. Dango Matara's shocking. There we go. Shocking Panenka penalty costs Bees as Hammers reach FA Cup last 8. See, there we go. It's already telling you Dango Matara's shocking Panenka penalty. That's told you right there. That's told you how bad it actually was. And, not beating around the bush, giving it to us straight, honest, how bad that penalty was. Because if we go, when I tell you, when we go to the Bees website, it'll be nothing like this. It'll be nothing like this. But this is fucking spot on. This is 100%, right? And I'll carry on with it. Cost Bees as Hammers reach FA Cup last 8. Match report as West Ham beat Brentford in the FA Cup 5th round on penalties. Jared Bowen and Igor Thiago both scored twice in normal time. Dango Matara missed his Panenka penalty, which ended up being crucial. There we go, Bilal, being crucial. So, there we go, my friend. It was kind of crucial, you see. So West Ham will host Leeds in the FA Cup quarterfinals, which, of course, we got to play Leeds in the Premier very soon. Not in the FA Cup now. That's not happening. Right, so there we go. Dango Matara was a penalty villain. There we go. See, he's a penalty villain for Brentford as his fouled Panenka in the shootout cost the Bees and sent West Ham to the FA Cup quarterfinals at their expense. After Jared Bowen and Igor Thiago got 2 goals each in normal time, with nothing decided in extra time, Watara tried to chip Alphonse Areola down the middle, but the West Ham goalkeeper read it and stood still to gather easily. There we go. Exactly. Gather easily. And there's a photo of it. I wish I could actually show the actual thing, but I'd probably be copyright, really, so I couldn't really do it. I wish I could show the coverage of it. On the other side of the coin, West Ham emphatically smashed all of their penalties with poise, as Konstantinos Mavropanos, even he scored. See? Even he scored. Ex-Arsenal, a load of shit the guy was at Arsenal, wasn't he? And even he scored it. Another comment there from Bilal. You should arrange a friendly match against us in the next round. Well, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Mavropanos, lump of shit. He was at Arsenal. He even scored a penalty. He scored the winning spot kick to set up a last 8 contest with fellow Premier League relegation rivals Leeds in early April. A superb first half saw both teams go for it, leading to 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes. It was a good game, I've got to admit. I enjoyed it. Better than some of the dull, boring games recently that we've had in the FA Cup and that. It was going both ends. You know, I mean, both teams probably could have won, had chances. A superb first half saw both, as I say, leading 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes. Superb first half, which it was. Brentford missed early chances through Jordan Henderson and Michael Chiodi before West Ham made them pay as Bowen tapped home his first of the game. He was great in the game, Jared Bowen, as usual. He was superb of the game after picking up a knockdown from Matthias Fernandez's cross. Brentford found a way back into the game through a likely source. Nathan Collins' goal-bound header from a throw-in routine was diverted in by Igor Thiago, who in chesting home notched his 20th goal of the season in all competition. Thing is, I was actually disappointed with him in the game itself. I didn't think he'd done enough. I know he got 2 goals and the other one was a penalty. I realise that. I get all that. But I can't help feeling he could have done more in this game, Thiago. If he put himself about more, had more attempts, chances of anything, he could have got some more goals. I thought he could have been better than what he was. And out of those front 3, I thought Sharda was the better player out of those 3 attackers. He was about, he had his pace, of course, and heading. He was getting to the ball, trying to head it to somebody or try and lay it off to somebody. And Thiago just didn't do any of that. He was found wanting. He was nowhere at times. And I thought, this is a guy that's got all these goals, 20-odd goals now. But why isn't he putting it into the game more? Why isn't he putting himself about more? I mean, Watara at times looks good, looked fantastic sometimes going past someone, but the final ball wasn't there with him. The final ball, and then that penalty as well. So again, he was sort of disappointing in a way. So for me, Kevin Sharda looked the better of the front 3, those front attacking players. But anyway, the Bees would find themselves behind straight away as from the kick-off. Adama Traore was brought down by Chiodi, which he was. And despite referee Andy Madley somehow not spotting the clear trip, here we go. Fucking Andy Madley. Really is mad. Madly. Fucking useless. VAR sent into the monitor to award a spot kick. So again, it was down to VAR to control it and give that. Bowen dispatched it with ease, which he did. Madley and VAR would be busy again before the half's end as Kevin Schade went down under Fernandez's trip in the area. Replay showed the West Ham midfielder got the slightest touch on the ball. No, he didn't. He didn't. What are we talking? Who's saying this? Actually, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't get a touch. He didn't touch it. Where are you getting this from? A slightest touch on the ball before standing on Shade's foot, with VAR not biting on the penalty appeals. But no, I'm sorry, he didn't get the slightest touch. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about there. I don't get that. He didn't get the slightest touch on the ball, not whatsoever. That was a fucking penalty all day long. A big up to you, Warren. I hope you're okay. Yeah, Steve, I hope you're okay. Well, yes and no, because this has fucking annoyed me with what happened in this game. I wasn't too bad about it until, that penalty, Panenka shit, and not getting that penalty either. That has really fucking done my head in, to be honest. Yeah, it's a penalty, said Brentford boss Keith Andrews after the game. Well, yes, it was. I think it was as well. And it's not about being biased whatsoever. It's about being honest, and truthfully, that was a penalty. Asked if he can understand why it wasn't given, he replied, not really, no. There was clear contact on his foot. There was. There was no touch on the ball. He got no touch of it. Why they're saying he got slightest touch? No, he didn't. I don't see how it can't be overturned by VAR when we've had one that was overturned and got re-refereed. But where Andy Madley was on the pitch, he looked at R1 and didn't give it. So yeah, strange. But there would be a second penalty of the game late on after Coyote was pushed by half-time substitute Crescencio Somerville at the back post. Ref Madley did not need VAR to give that one. Brilliant, eh? Doesn't need VAR all the time after all then, does he? Well done to him. To give that one with the shove cleared to see. Thiago stepped up to pull Brentford level for a second time, with Keane Lewis Potter then missing a chance to win it before the 90 minutes was up as he flashed an effort wide. Yep. Extra time continued to provide lively moments. The fresh legs of Ramel Donovan and Callum Wilson failed to convert decent chances, while Somerville, who was booked for conceding the Brentford penalty, avoided a second yellow for a clear trip. Yeah, there we go. Great refereeing again, eh? Brilliant. Axel Disasi nearly won it with virtually the last kick of the game as his long-range effort flew just over the bar, which is true. It was close. And that brought penalties, where Watara's dreadful moment from 12 yards decided it. Exactly. Andrews defends Watara for Panenka penalty miss. Well, how can you? Brentford head coach Keith Andrews. I'm not annoyed at all. The easiest thing for a footballer to do is to not take a penalty. It takes unbelievable courage on a stage like that to take a penalty. Yeah, but you don't take a penalty like that, you fucking prick. Absolute prick. You absolute melt. I despise the culture around players that have missed penalty kicks. We're talking about national heroes who have done it. They've been ridiculed, persecuted. I think it's disgusting. But if anything, that's a warning. You do not do it. You can't do it if that's what's going to happen. Why bother? You absolute fucking dick brain cunt. And I apologise for the language. But this guy is fucking annoying me. He gets on my nut, this Keith Andrews. And that's why I don't want him as a manager. I've fucking had enough of this cunt. I really have. I apologise, guys, but He's not the manager for us. He's not. He's extended the contract, and why? Why has he been extended? I don't get that. What's he done now to earn it? We're now out of the FA Cup as well. And if we don't get Europe, why has he got an extension? Oh, well, we're in the Premier League again. We survived again another season in the Premier. So who fucking cares, eh? I do. I fucking care. I'm a Bees fan. I'm not settling for all this shit like others are. Why should I? You know, all the others, all the fucking, we're safe. We've got another season in the Premier. We're amazing. We get all this money, we get all these players, you know, everyone's buying our players, and we're so great. Oh no, fuck off, are we? Because if we don't get Europe either, what's it been? What's it been another season of? Just staying in the Premier? That's an achievement. Yeah, right, okay. Is that all we're going for? Because we could try and do that every season, couldn't we? Because I don't think we're not relegation strugglers, no way at all. But that's the case. We're too good. We're too good to go down. So why are we not taking the next step then? If we're too good to go down, why are we not trying to achieve anything else? Because I don't think it's going to happen under this Andrews. I really do not. I can't see it. I really can't. I'm still going to say that, and I don't give a shit about these other Bees fans that are going to have a go at me and say, "Oh, you know, why are you saying this? Why are you having a go at him? He's done a fantastic job. He's been amazing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking out your arse, talking a load of bollocks and all this shit." Because the thing is, right, I want to see us do something. I want to see us achieve what we should be achieving. We're good enough to go up the next level. We are, and we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And a lot of it's still down to this fucking manager. It is. Anyway, I'll continue. I'll finish this off. Yeah, it takes serious courage to do that, take a penalty. He practices that technique a lot. Oh, he practices it a lot. So, does he actually do it every time then? Does he score every time when he practices it? If it goes in, everyone's raving about him. If it goes in, and that's in a practice, that's not in a fucking game. You absolute fucking prick. So Dango will get the absolute support he needs from us and everybody attached to him. Well, good for him. Good for him. Because we're no longer in an FA Cup because of what he's done. But good for him that he's getting all the support. And he'll carry on playing. You'll keep playing him. You won't even find him. You won't take him out to get out the team and bring anyone else in. No, you're a fucking arsehole. You're an absolute fucking cunt. And I've had enough of you. And if we don't achieve nothing, I'm fucking going for you, mate. I'm fucking going for you, my friend. Big fucking time, I'll tell you that. Another one for Warren here. Sorry, guys, I'm going off on one again. I can't help it. It's just done me again, this. It really has. I thought that there were times in that game last night, what I saw of it, where you looked to be struggling to cope with the intensity and pace of West Ham's pace, which really concerned me. Well, concerns you, Warren? What do you think it's done to me? The fact that we're out of it, you know, it's fucking annoying, mate. Fucking annoying. And I thought we were actually good most of the time. Some of the time I think probably the first half we were really great at times. But then again, of course, we got lazy again. We got lackadaisical and they scored again. We gave away a penalty, of course. It didn't help. And, you know, they were a better team, let's be honest, than they were the last time we played. They were a lot better. You know, you see a team that knew that they had come back and almost out of relegation, are really fighting, are really going somewhere under this manager now, are trying to achieve something and stay in the Premier, maybe try and even win this FA Cup. Because imagine that. Although you could say they could win it and still go down. But, you know, in a way, you know, they're trying to do something. And I think they've got some decent players, no doubt. They've got some good players, barring his quality. We know his quality. He should be in a better team. And no offence to West Ham. No offence whatsoever. They've just beaten us, of course, and knocked us out of the FA Cup. So no offence whatsoever, but really he should be in a better team than that. He really should. Somerville as well, probably, you know. Some of the other players should be maybe Souček even, or you know, some of these others are very good. They're still very good, and you know, the Wan-Bissakas and all that, you know, who used to play for Man United, of course. So, you know, you've got some really top players there still, and why are they struggling? I don't know, but anyway, I'll continue with this. So, barring targeting silverware for West Ham this season, FA Cup quarterfinals in full, Southampton versus Arsenal, Chelsea versus Port Vale, Man City versus Liverpool, West Ham versus Leeds. Yeah, West Ham versus Leeds. Yeah, not Brentford versus Leeds. No. So there we go. That's the quarterfinals. West Ham captain Jared Bain to TNT Sports. We haven't been good enough this season, but we're coming into the real business end of it now. There's a big game coming up on Saturday. We're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and things are on the up for us. But we have to keep doing it, keep demanding it, keep raising the level. It's true what he's saying there. It's true. I go back to the QPR game in the third round. Well, I don't want to say our season started, but that was the chance to turn it around and give us confidence and belief. We've done that in the Premier League, and tonight was the game that was the same. Was the same thing. We had to put in a good performance, and we knew it'd be a tough game. Every FA Cup game we've had has gone to extra time now. But we want to get to the final. We want silverware at this club. That's great. I'm glad he wants that. I mean, every footballer should say that and want it. You know, they should. It's a dream of mine to win it, the FA Cup. And we've got a long way to get there. But tonight is a big night for everyone involved. Nuno, we're enjoying playing at home again. West Ham head coach Nuno Espirito Santo to TNT Sports. Our fans deserve this moment of joy. The way they support us through bad times, the way they keep supporting the team. Thank you for that. The team did a good job. The players are delighted in the dressing room, tired but delighted. A tough one against an amazing team. We controlled them and contained them with a lot of chances. I'm happy that the game came to us in the end. Now we have to rest, knowing Saturday we face a tough one against Man City, yeah. But in our stadium, our boys are playing in the London Stadium. The atmosphere is good, it's a tough one, we want to compete. And our performance will require the best from all of us. So there we go. And now I'll go on to this other article, which is almost the same, similar, but again, he's sort of like saying about Andrews staying behind Ouattara, despite that penalty miss, despite, you know, cocking that up. He's still backing him. So, yeah, this one on TNT. Keith Andrews rails against disgusting culture after fouled Dango Ouattara Panenka for Brentford against West Ham in the FA Cup. Dango was in the spotlight for the wrong reasons after Brentford's penalty shootout defeat to West Ham United in the Emirates FA Cup on Monday. But head coach Keith Andrews gave the winger his full backing. There we go. That's why he shouldn't be manager. I'm sorry, he shouldn't. And labelled the vitriol towards those who miss decisive penalties disgusting. He praised Ouattara's serious courage despite the miss, but it's a decisive miss, conclusive miss that has knocked us out of an FA Cup. You don't understand that. You don't understand. To try that in a game that important is wrong. When you totally fuck it up, it's not good enough. And that's why you should not be the manager, my friend. No way. I don't want you as our manager. I've fucking had enough. I'm never going to back you until you do something. I'm backing the squad. I'm backing the team, and that's it. And I'm not going to back Ouattara because it's stupid. It's dumb. It's irresponsible. It's fucking terrible. Disrespectful to the opposition to try and do that and think you're good enough and arrogant and cocky enough and got the ability to do it. No. No. So Brentford head coach Keith Andrews defended Dango Ouattara after his audacious but unsuccessful attempt Panenka penalty in Monday's Emirates FA Cup loss to West Ham United. The fifth round clash went to a penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw at the London Stadium. West Ham scored their first two penalties to lead 2-1 in the shootout before Ouattara stepped up. And the 24-year-old winger went for the spectacular, a delicate lob down the middle with the intention of deceiving goalkeeper Alphonse Areola. But didn't. And he looked an absolute prick, an embarrassment. Absolute dummy for doing it. So I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. I'm going to say it. I hate it. I'm sorry. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. But the Frenchman read his intention standing up and simply catching the ball like that. The result was an ignominious walk back to the centre circle for Ouattara. Oh my word, said Darren Fletcher on TNT Sports Commentary. What was that all about? Not the time. Exactly. Darren Fletcher. Stand up. Take a bow, son. That is fucking correct. And as much as I hate the commentary, I think it's a load of shit. Load of absolute useless tossers that talk about every fucking thing else. And show the audience, the crowd, advertise other things, other games, other series on that channel. I still think what you're saying is correct, mate. I totally agree. Darren Fletcher, you're absolutely spot on, 100%. It's not the time. It's not the time. No way. No way. You only ever get away with that if it goes in. Exactly. Addy McCoist added. If it doesn't, it looks appalling. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely correct. Fucking spot on. Absolutely spot on. There was scathing criticism of Ouattara in the aftermath of Brentford's defeat. But Andrews was staunch in his backing of the player. I guess you've got to say he has to be. He's the manager. But to be honest, if he is what people say he is, if he gets annoyed and fucks off and not happy with certain things, why doesn't he go down on this guy and say, I'm not playing you now. I'm not playing you for so many games, say 2 or 3 games, 4 games or something. Leave him out the team. Put someone else in. because that was not the right time to try it. I'm sorry, you can't. You just can't say I'm backing you because it was an important penalty in the fucking game, in the penalty shootout. All the other penalties were taken and scored, properly scored, great penalties, proper penalties, hit really well, not a dinky little stupid floaty thing like that. No, and I'm sorry, I would. If I was the manager, I would fucking take this prick out and leave him out for at least 2 or 3 games. I can't. I wouldn't stand for that. I would not stand for it. I'll give someone else a game. I'll put Ramel Donovan in probably. If he does well, I'll keep him there. And that's fucking that's discipline. And that's making a statement to Ouattara, you shouldn't do that ever again. You will not do that ever again. And you should never have done it in that game. I'm sorry, I know I'm being hard. I know I'm being, strict. I know it sounds bad, it sounds harsh. But it's true. It's true. Come on. You have to be tough. You have to be. And it's as usual at the Bees, we're letting them get away with it. You know, it's just too friendly. It's too nice. You know, the consequences are there. There's nothing saying, oh, look, you've done the wrong thing and you have to be punished. It's not. We're letting it go. We're letting you carry on because probably the thing is we haven't got anything else as good as in there, probably. Maybe not. There probably isn't. But although saying I still think Ramel Donovan, maybe, give him a go now. Because he actually looked quite good. He looked very good when he came on last night. I would put him there and leave Ouattara out now. But I don't think Andrews would do that. I just don't think he'd do it. I just know he won't. Yeah. I'm not annoyed at all, Andrew said in his post-match press conference. I think the easiest thing for a footballer to do is not take a penalty. It takes unbelievable courage on a stage like that to take a penalty. I despise the culture around players that miss penalty kicks. National heroes that have done it, ridiculed, persecuted. I think it's disgusting. It takes serious courage to do that. You practice that technique a lot. It goes in. Everyone is raving about him. Dango will get the absolute support he needs from myself and everybody attached to us. The miss proved costly as West Ham scored all their penalties to win 5-3 and set up a quarter-final against Leeds United at the London Stadium. He looked so confident, former West Ham midfielder Joe Cole said on TNT Sports. He took his time and looked in complete control. And he did that. It's unexplainable, exactly. He was outstanding, really good through the 120 minutes. Well, yes, I guess. I wouldn't say I've seen him play better than that. But there were times he looked really great. But that does not matter when you miss a penalty in a shootout. Exactly, it doesn't. It doesn't. You don't want to chastise the lad. I hope he doesn't do it again in his career. I fucking hope he doesn't as well. And to be honest, I wouldn't let him take a penalty anymore. I wouldn't. I would not. Former Spurs midfielder Glenn Hoddle added, he took so long. I think he had 1,000 thoughts going through his mind. And when you're like that as a taker, you miss. The young lad will absolutely regret trying a Panenka at that time. I hope he does. I hope he has. I hope he regrets it. Brentford's chances of a first ever major trophy may have ended, but their focus will now be on securing European football for next season. Well, that's what it is now. That's what it'll be. I'm not even sure we're going to do that. I'm not even totally sure about that. Andrew's side sits 7th in the Premier League and are on course to qualify for the UEFA Conference League. On course, but not confirmed, not guaranteed. The Bees host bottom side Wolverhampton Wanderers in their next league outing on Monday. So that's the unbiased sort of thoughts and comments, criticism of it. I'm going to go to our one, the actual Bees website now, and you'll see how much different it is. You will see. You will notice, guys, how much different this will be. Not having a go at Ouattara, chastising him, or anything. This is a totally biased view of the Bees. I'll be up to you, Irish Pit Terrier. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're good. Good to see you in here yet again. Right, so this is the totally biased take on it all on the Bees website. West Ham 2, Brentford 2, 5-3 West Ham on penalties. Bees knocked out an FA Cup on penalties. Brentford defeated 5-3 in a penalty shootout by West Ham in the fifth round of the FA Cup. Jarrod Bowen and Igor Thiago both net braces as game ends 2-2 after 90 minutes at London Stadium. Keith Andrews. I'm gutted. I was really confident and eager to do everything we could to progress and give the fans an unbelievable day out. Brentford were knocked out the fifth round of the FA Cup after being defeated 5-3 in the penalty shootout by West Ham United at London Stadium. A Jarrod Bowen brace was cancelled out by a double from Igor Thiago as the game ended 2-2 after 90 minutes. And neither side could find a winner in extra time. West Ham were faultless in the shootout, emphatically scoring all 5 of their penalties. And Dango was denied by Alphonse Areola from the spot as the hosts booked a quarter-final tie against Leeds United. Keith Andrews made 3 changes to the starting 11 with Christopher Ayer, Keane Lewis-Potter and Juha Yarmoliuk coming into the side, the latter for his 100th Brentford appearance. It seemed a strong lineup. It seemed very strong. I think we were taking this pretty seriously. I think we definitely were. They're pretty much the first team out playing in this. Yet we still couldn't get through, which doesn't look good, does it? Didn't look good. Sepp van den Berg and Matthias Jensen dropped to the bench and Rico Henry missed out for a hamstring injury sustained in the previous midweek's goalless draw against Bournemouth. The first chance of note went the way of the Bees. Michael Chiodi won the ball back midway inside the host's half before offloading to Mikael Damsgaard on the left flank. The Dane works his way into the corner of the box before pulling back to the edge of the area for Jordan Henderson. But the England international's powerful side-footed shot was too high. It sure was too high. The West Londoners had been looking the more likely, particularly down their right side with Chiodi and Ouattara combining well. But it was West Ham who took the lead on 19 minutes. Ollie Scholes delivered an in-swinging corner to the near post, which was headed away by Thiago, but only as far as Matthias Fernandes. His cross from the corner of the box coming off Ayer, battling in the air with Souček, and it dropped to Bowen, who had the simple job of touching home from close range. Parity was restored just 9 minutes later. Ouattara turned Scholes inside out before clipping into the middle of the box on the byline. Nathan Collins met it with a powerful header, which hit Thiago in the chest before nestling into the back of the net for the Brazilians' 20th goal of the season in all competitions. In a frantic spell, the Hammers were awarded a golden opportunity to regain their advantage almost instantly after VAR concluded that Chiodi had tripped Adama Traore in the penalty area. Bowen held his nerve to send Quiven Kelleher the wrong way and rolled a resulting spot kick into the bottom left corner. The Bees thought they should have a penalty of their own, which they should have done. We should have done. He definitely didn't get the ball. and it was a penalty all day long. Watara cut inside Scholes and played the ball to Sharda. He shaped to shoot, but went down under a challenge from Fernandez, who had appeared to stand on the foot of Brentford's number 7. He did. That's what happened. He did stand on his foot. But VAR stuck with the original decision of no foul, which was totally bollocks, absolute shit. No way. Oh, that was a foul all day long. A foul every day of the week. And we didn't get it. Collins met a Ratara corner well and saw Scholes head it away from the next to the post before Ayers' flick on from a Coyote long throw was also cleared. West Ham had two big chances to make it 3-1 in first half stoppage time. First, Axel Disasi had a wild swipe after the ball had fallen to him a couple of yards out from goal, before a minute later, Souček's header from an inviting Fernandez free kick was denied by Kelleher. The Republic of Ireland keeper diving to his left and producing a strong hand before his compatriot Collins took clear. He had a good game, Kelleher. That was good. Another great save. This is the photos from the game, from the start there. Brentford in the line-up there. Bowen scoring for West Ham there. Sharda and Somerville on the ball there. Collins with a header which was chested in by Thiago on the way, diverted in. Damsgaard, who was quite good again. I don't think he was totally amazing, but I think he was still pretty good. Done some very good passing. Ratara, it was quite good, although, you know, he's always going to go down in my estimation with that penalty. I'm sorry. I hated it. And as decent as he was at times in the game, as pretty good as he was, no, you know, I'm not forgetting that penalty. It's not good enough. There's Bowen's penalty, of course, in normal time, to put them 2-1 up. More action there, Ayer and Souček there. Jordan Henderson. Thiago scoring his penalty in normal time to make it 2-2. And celebrating afterwards with Coyote there. Ramel Donovan, who I thought looked good coming on, looked very good. Of course, Brentford in the centre circle huddle for all together there, ready for the penalties. And that was it, really. Nuno Espirito Santo introduced Ezra Mayers and Crescencio Somerville at half-time. And the latter had the first effort of the second period. He drove towards goal from 25 yards out, eventually pulling the trigger from just inside the box and seeing his shot deflect off Coyote onto the roof of the net. Somerville was involved again midway through the half, with Collins producing two vital interventions to prevent the Hammers from extending their advantage. First, the Bees captain got a toe on his pullback before Bowen could sweep in from 6 yards out. Before he picks himself up to block a well struck effort from the arriving Souček. He had a good game actually, Collins. I think a very good game from him, to be honest, for a change. West Ham continued to look dangerous, particularly through counter-attacks. A smart Keller save denied Bowen what would have been his hat-trick goal as the final 10 minutes of regulation time neared. A couple of minutes later, the Bees levelled the tie from the penalty spot again. The opening was created by Ratara. who stood a dangerous ball up to the back post, where Coyote was shoved in the back by Somerville as he looked set to head in. And referee Andrew Madley pointed to the spot. Thiago held his nerve to convert from 12 yards and set up a grandstand finish. Lewis Potter could have made it 3-2 moments later after playing a 1-2 with Damsgaard to get in behind the defence. His left-footed cross shot from a tight angle was off target and the tie went to extra time. It took until stoppage time at the end of the first 15 minutes for either side to create a chance. And when it came, it fell the way of Brentford. Thiago held the ball up well before playing Sharda in behind the defence. His squared ball was left by Ouattara for Mel Donovan, but the young winger fired over the top of the frame. Both head coaches turned to their bench at half-time of extra time to bring on Callum Wilson and Kaya Furo, respectively. And it was the former who went close moments after the restart as his shot was from inside the box. Took a touch off Collins' leg before being turned behind by an impressive Kelleher reaction stop. Next, as the game entered the final 5 minutes, Tati Castellanos saw an effort deflect narrowly over with neither side willing to settle for penalties. Dizazi drilled an effort from range over Kelleher's goal before at the other end, Furo had a shot blocked as it ended level after 120 minutes. In the shootout, Ouattara saw his penalty, Brentford's second attempt, saved. And despite Thiago, Lewis Potter and Jensen all converting their efforts, the hosts netted all 5 penalties to progress. See, there's nothing there having a blast at Ouattara for what he done. This is on our website. This is a biased thing towards us. So nobody's having a go. Nobody's having real pop at Ouattara. So why? Why are we not? Why are we gone so easy? Why are we so easy on him? You shouldn't be doing that in a penalty shootout. In an important game to get into a quarter-final. You shouldn't be doing it. No way. I'm sorry. It's wrong. But we're not having a go at him. We're not coming down on him. There's no punishment. You get away with it. That's it. West Ham's line-up, 4-5-1. Ariola, Walker, Peters, Wan-Bissaka came on for him in the 91st. Dizazi, Mavropanos, Scholes, Mayers came on for him at half-time. Bowen, Souček, Fernandez, Wilson came on for him in the 106th minute. Kante, Magassa came on for him in the 76th. Traore, Somerville came on for him at half-time. Pablo Castellanos came on for him in the 60th. The subs, Herrick, Kilman and Potts. Brentford 4-3-3, Kelleher, Coyote, Collins, Ayer, Vandenberg came on for him in the 97th. Lewis Potter, Henderson, Damsgaard, Donovan came on for him in the 86th. Yarmoliuk, Jensen came on for him in the 63rd. Sharda, Furo came on for him in the 106th. Thiago and Ouattara. Subs, Valdemarson, Pinnock, Bent, Shield and Stevenson. Andrews, I'm gutted. So you should be. Brentford head coach Keith Andrews has reflected on his team's elimination from the FA Cup on Monday night. I'm gutted, said Andrews. I was really confident and eager to do everything we could to progress and give the fans an unbelievable day out in the next round and hopefully push on again. It's bitterly disappointing. I thought we could have played better at times in the first half. In the second half, I thought we were excellent. We played some really good football and the intensity was great. It gets to penalties and it's tricky. The quality of their penalties was very good. But unfortunately, we fell short tonight. Collins, a tough one to take. Captain Nathan Collins shared his thoughts after the Bees penalty shootout defeat against West Ham United. It's frustrating, especially with the manner of going out on penalties, said the centre-back. We wanted a cup run this year, but we felt like we had it in us and the squad was good enough for it, so it's a really tough one to take. We dug in and definitely had chances to win the game in extra time, but it's still very frustrating not going through. See, there's nothing really going on Watara at all, not blaming him, because it was his fault, that penalty. I'm sorry, you got to say it. They're too nice. We're too nice. The manager's too nice. The whole team, the whole fan base almost is too nice. I'm the only one who's saying it against it, who's really talking out against it here. And there should be more people, there should be more of these fans standing up and saying this, but they're not. Anyway, let's get to going to do the player ratings now. And that is our next fixture there. Of course, Wolves at the GTEC we've got next Monday, the 16th. So I'll be doing a preview for that very soon. Possibly Thursday or Friday, that would be. And then, of course, Leeds on next Saturday, 21st. So, Ellen Road, of course. And April, we got Everton, of course. So that's all to come at the GTEC. We're playing Everton. Some big games to come now, because all we're doing now is going for Europe. No FA Cup. We're not doing that anymore. That's gone. So now it's Europe. Yeah. So let's get to the player ratings, and we had Cleveland Kelleher in goal. I thought he was really great, actually. I thought he was really great in this game. Made some amazing saves. I disagree with Andrew's claim about the intensity. For me, the Bees look sluggish and not fit. But yeah, I think Andrews watches a different game to us, mate, to be honest, at times. So I wouldn't say we were totally sluggish and bad, but I still agree with you about that. We weren't quite good enough, I didn't think. But Andrew seems to think, well, he thinks differently, doesn't he? Why is he the manager? I just don't know, Warren. I'm totally perplexed, really, because he's letting all this happen. He's gonna let Watara get away with that stupid penalty. He's still gonna back him no matter what. And no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be doing that. I'll get him out of the team now. At least three or four games, I'll get him out of it. Get someone else in, and if they do well, like Ramel Donovan, say, and he has really great performances, I'll keep him in. And that makes a statement. That's giving a big statement to Watara why you shouldn't be doing that in a game, that sort of penalty. And this is the punishment you get. You're out of the team. You're absolutely out of it. And be up to you, Luca. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're good. Of course, you got Southampton in the FA Cup. On road, Gillingham. Oh, right. I'm good. That's good. Yeah, nice one, mate. But yeah, Cleveland Kelleher, I thought he had a really good game. I thought he'd done some really fine saves. Yeah, okay, still conceded, but not a lot he could really do. I don't think especially with a penalty as well. I thought he made some vital saves, though. It really kept us in it mainly, still there. I'm going to give him 8. I mean, I think he got man of the match on the actual coverage, TNT coverage. He did actually get man of the match, I believe. So, yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought he was a very good game from him. Quality keeper, very good saves. So let's get to the defence. And let's go to Coyote. Again, I thought he was amazing. You know, absolutely, lung-busting runs, and got so much energy up and down the field, but yet still makes mistakes at times. He's still cocking up, and he's young. Don't get me wrong, he's a very young player still, 20, 21. He's so young still. We know he's burst onto the scene. He's an Italian under 21 international and maybe full international, possibly at some stage. So, this guy is quality. He is quality, and he's got that great long throw. But I think there's just sometimes he's just made these mistakes. Give away the penalty, of course. So I'm not so sure I'm going to give him a really big mark, about a 6, I think, because, yes, he could have scored as well, could have got his first goal in a great position inside the penalty area, could have scored, should have scored maybe. So, yeah, that's why I'm giving him a 6. So let's get to the next one. And that's Nathan Collins, who I thought was immense, was superb. Captain last night. One of his best games for a while. He was really top defending. I think was great. I'll give him an 8, and of course was instrumental in that sort of goal for Thiago, where he headed it on and Thiago chested it in, diverted it in. So yeah, I think an 8. I think I'm either going to give him or Kelleher man of the match. I think I will give Kelleher man of the match, to be honest. And he got it last night anyway on TNT. So I'm giving Kelleher man of the match. But I'll carry on with these. And let's move on to his centre-back partner, which was Christopher Ayer. I know Warren's not enamoured of him as a player, and sometimes maybe I'm not. Warren obviously had him at Celtic. He was there. At times he's done all right. I think he's been decent at times, but still other times can be pretty shit. I don't think he was amazing in this. I'm only going to give him about a 5. I thought he was pretty bad at times. I just don't think he was as good as Collins. So yeah, a 5 for Ayer. And let's go to who else did we have at the back? I think we had, because I know we started with Lewis Potter was on the, I think, left wing back, because we obviously had a 4-3-3. So I think it was Lewis Potter at left wing back, I believe. So yeah, I thought he had actually a very good game, Lewis Potter. I think he was great at times. His dribbling ability on the ball, going past players, I thought he was very good. But unfortunately, didn't have quite that final ball decisiveness to do to get a goal or anything else. So I think I can only give him a 7. But I mean, his quality at times, he does look great. I know he's better than what he shows sometimes. But just a 7 this time. That's all I can give him. So let's go to the midfield. Yarmoliuk, he was decent in and out. I mean, he's sort of more defensive midfield. He's no playmaker as such. He does some sort of unfussy work in the midfield. I'll give him a 7. I thought he was okay. I thought he'd done all right. 7. Damsgaard, Mikael Damsgaard. I don't know. I don't know about him. I thought he was in and out of the game at times. I don't think he was at his absolute best, but still very good. You can't say he was poor. I'll give him a 7 still, but not one of his most amazing games he's ever played. So 7. And Jordan Henderson, I thought was decent. It was good again. I thought he had a good shot went over the top, decent shot, just over the bar. I thought he had a good game. He was everywhere in the game, pretty much. You know, he's 36 now. I thought he was pretty much everywhere and played well in the game. To be honest, I'm going to give him a 7. So I think that was it for the midfield. Obviously, I'll get onto the subs in a little while. So go to Kevin Schade, who I thought was actually one of the best up front, one of our best players. Despite Thiago getting 2 goals, and Watara setting a lot up on the other side, on the right-hand side. I think this guy was good. I thought he's really at his sort of best of, attacking, going at defenders with his pace, laying the ball off, good heading ability. Okay, didn't look like maybe ever scoring or anything else, but I thought he looked like he was wanting to try and do things, really trying to set things up, do things right, and for that, I'm going to give him an 8. I'm giving him an 8. An 8 for Schade. Thiago, as I say, got 2 goals, and that's why he's got probably a better rating than he should have. He got 2 more goals, but I don't think he had the most amazing of games. I don't think he was really, really outstanding. So the fact he's got 2 goals I'll give him at least a 7, but I can't give him a major mark. I can't give him a 9 or a 10 or even an 8, really. He just wasn't as impressive, despite getting 2 goals. So that's why he doesn't get a really impressive mark, a great rating. And now we're going to come to him. We're going to come to him, Dango Watara. Dear, oh dear. While he was good a lot of the game, fairly impressive with crossing and things, running at the defenders, going past defenders, looking dangerous. ultimately, it's what he done in the shootout that's affected his rating. Because of that stupidity he done in the shootout, I'm afraid, gets him only a. I would give him a really low mark, like a 1 or 2, but I can't give him that really low mark. I'm going to give him a 5. I would have given him a lot more, but you do that stupid penalty, you do a dumb Panenka that didn't work, and I'm afraid you can't get a big mark. You can't get a big mark. I'm afraid you don't get it. So he's lucky to get a 5. He's lucky to get it now. After all that, I know it sounds harsh. I know it sounds like I'm really coming down on him, being too bad, harsh on him. But it's that penalty at the end of the day really fucks it up for us. Warren there, well, one of Thiago's goals he didn't know much about, did he? No, of course. When he tested it in, it went off his chest. He just happened to be there, didn't he? When Collins headed it, it went off of him. So really, well, as you say, he didn't know a lot about it at all. Big up to you, Rich. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're good. Big up, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Who was the chump of the match, mate? Well, this guy, really. You've got to say it's him. You've got to say it's Ouattara. Because of what he done with the penalty. It's simple as that. If he had taken a proper penalty, I would have given him a really good mark in this game. Because actually, he played fairly well most of the game. He was still very good. But if you're going to do something like that, no, I'm sorry. It's you get downgraded. Your rating, your mark will be downgraded. As it should be, because you do something silly that's done. All you need to do is take a decent smash it either side, go for pace, go for a great power, and see what happens. Because if you're going to go for a little dink shit like that, you've got to hope the goalkeeper moves. And if he doesn't, you're an absolute embarrassment if it doesn't, because he's just going to take it and easily. And that's what happened. And you end up with egg on your face. And this guy has. And for me, I'm not letting him get away with it. I'm not letting him get away with it. In fact, I'm going to go down to 3. My rating for this guy, 3, because he would have been a great mark. He would have been something like an 8 or 9 even. But the fact he done that dumb penalty, no, I'm not letting him get away with it. I'm not going soft with that. Why should I? Andrews can, if he fucking wants. The rest of them can support him. The other players, but fucking hell, no. Why should he get away with that? No, I'm not having it. Right, and I'll go to the subs. The subs were Ramel Donovan. I thought was very good. I rated this guy. He looked very good in the game when he come on. Trying to make things happen. He looked very good on the ball. Really decent. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm giving him an 8. I thought he was very good. And to be honest, I'll play him now instead of Ouattara. I'll put him in now. Ouattara's fucked up for me, and I think that's it. You got to put him out for a while and let him stew on it. Let him fucking stew on what he's done. And this guy here has got to play now then. Give him a few games. Make a big statement. But I don't think Andrews will, because I don't think Andrews is that sort of, well, I don't know. I really do not think he's going to do it. I really don't. I can't see him doing it. I think he'll keep going with Watara and sticking and backing him. And well, I'm sorry. We'll get what we deserve if that happens. Sorry, that's what'll happen. Yeah, so an 8 for Donovan. Kaya Furo came on as well. Didn't have that much of a. It didn't do a lot in the game. I don't think. Didn't do enough to really look anything special. I'll give him a 5. Hasn't played much at all though, so you've got to give him some sort of leeway, cut him some sort of slack. But didn't do a lot in the game when he came on. Who else was? What was our other subs? I think that was about it. Sorry, Jensen came on. Matthias Jensen. I actually thought he was good when he came on. I thought he was very good on the ball. Done a lot of good things. 7. I'll give him a 7. And I think that was about it for the midfield. The defence for Sepp Vandenberg came on. And I thought he was, well, he was put on to, I don't know, maybe just shore things up and make sure of the draw, maybe of the draw to get to extra time and whatever. I'll give him a 5. He didn't really have. No, actually, I'll give him a 6. I think he was all right. I think he was a bit better than I am when he came on. A bit better. So I'll give him a 6. And that's the player ratings, guys. That's the player ratings. Let's go to this. I'm gonna end with all this because obviously talking about Panenkas, I'm gonna go to this as the final sort of thing to talk about topic on this. This is ranking the 11 worst Panenka penalties we've ever seen after Dango Watara's shocker. This is on Planet Football. Number 11, Troy Parrott. I don't know if anyone remembers this. Anyway, we're ranking the 11 worst attempts at recreating the Panenka, which made each of these players look hilariously foolish. Again, I wish I could show these, but I probably can't. It's copyright, so I probably can't do that. Yeah, so Troy Parrott, number 11. Only players infused with confidence had the cojones to attempt a Panenka. And Irishman Parrott made this attempt days after scoring 5 goals against Portugal and Hungary. Yeah. True, he had been scoring goals, Patchy Parrott, you know. He had been scoring, so maybe he had the right to do that. Maybe he did, but it's still wrong. You still can't be doing it. But it's the ability to actually pull one off that separates the wheat from the chaff. This injury time Eredivisie effort is still rising. And I wish I could show this, but I don't think I can. Could I show it briefly? I don't know. Could I? What? This is on X, isn't it? Could I show it? I don't know. Well, probably couldn't. I really like to show this, but I obviously can't. But anyway, so there's that one. Number 10, Andrea Pirlo. Not even Pirlo gets it right every time. At least he saved his bloopers for when it didn't really matter. Exactly. Having his bluff called by Jose Pinto, in a friendly against Barcelona in 2010. So that's a friendly, see? It doesn't matter. It didn't matter at all. So that tells you everything. That didn't matter at that time. Raheem Sterling, number 9. Danny Ward literally laughs in Sterling's face after this Carabao Cup humbling. Number 8, Francesco Totti. Like Pirlo, it really hurts us to admit that Totti did not always get things right. Similarly, like Pirlo, he at least got it right when it mattered, with his Panenka against Edwin van der Sar, helping Italy beat the Netherlands at Euro 2000. Exactly, yeah. But this effort against Lecce was a stinker, and Totti's face says it all. So number 7 is Dango Ouattara. He's got made number 7, so he's not the worst. Brentford are safe from relegation and unlikely to qualify for Europe through the league. Unlikely. Well, I suppose, yeah. Well, I guess you could say possibly. An FA Cup penalty shootout with the winners due to face Leeds in the quarters is the definition of a gift horse. Well, Ouattara decided to ignore its mouth and float a nonsensical Panenka into Alphonse Areola's grateful gloves. What a waste. Yeah, maybe, yeah. When it's put like that, it probably was, wasn't it? We did have a great chance to get to the quarters and face Leeds, but no. There you go. I mean, I suppose what I'm saying should make even more sense then. Why has he been backed still? Why is he being backed after that dreadful penalty? Wrong time. It was the wrong time to be doing it. It really was. Gary Lineker, number 6. I remember all this one. I definitely remember seeing this. Training Sir Bobby Charlton's England goal scoring record by 1. Lineker was presented with a perfect opportunity to become his country's joint top goal scorer when the Three Lions were awarded a penalty against Brazil in 1992. But in his final appearance at Wembley, Lineker completely fluffed the chance. I definitely remember this. Speaking afterwards, he said, "I saw the goalkeeper commit himself early and tried to lift the ball over him, but I scuffed up some grass as I shot and couldn't get any height." So this is worse than Ouattara's, let's be honest. Graham Taylor was much less apologetic, commenting, "You could argue that we played Brazil with 10 men. Ouch." Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a bit bad from the late, great Graham Taylor, RIP. Not great. Yes, number 5, Enzo Lefebvre, against us, against the Bees, of course. After failing to chip Kelleher, a man with the composition of an oak tree, rumour has it that Lefebvre was made to walk back from London barefoot. Well, there we go. Sergio Aguero at number 4. Aguero had the chance to double Manchester City's lead against Chelsea in 2021, but was left red-faced after his cheeky penalty attempt was comfortably saved by Edouard Mendy. The Blues then turned the game on its head to seal a 2-1 win, delaying City's Premier League title winning party. There. I'd like to apologise to my teammates, staff and supporters for missing the penalty, Aguero tweeted after the game. It was a bad decision and I take full responsibility. Still, he wasn't all bad. Number 3, Peter Crouch. Oh, Crouchy. Yeah. This was Crouchy at the height of his robot dancing fame. Crouchy at his butt. Look at his England record best. Crouchy at his maybe we don't need Wayne Rooney or Michael Owen level of heroism. Then it was a reminder that England will always be doomed when it comes to penalties. He still scored a hat-trick, though, and we still absolutely love him. Number 2, Javier Hernandez, stoppage time. This is to win it. This for the hat-trick. Oh, mate. And number 1, Ademola Lookman. It's never a good sign when your teammates are coming out post-match to make clear they haven't killed you yet. He has apologised, so we will brush it under the carpet and move on, were the words of Fulham midfielder Harrison Reed after Lookman spurned the chance to earn the Cottagers a crucial draw at West Ham in 2020 with the last kick of the game. Tom Kearney echoed the sentiment of Reed, but something tells us some stronger language may have been used after this. Yeah, so that's the top 11, and Ouattara at number 7, of course, but nothing to be proud of, nothing at all. You know, you're in the company of some great players there, of course, some other good players and great players, but you still shouldn't be missing. You should be missing that and doing that, Panenkas, you know? It's not good enough. Let's see if there's any others, anything else. Let's try this one. Best and worst Panenka penalties. From the worst to the best, a look at some of the most famous Panenka penalties over the years. Panenka penalties are either sublime or ridiculously bad. There is no middle ground. If executed correctly and the goalkeeper dives right or left, the taker is praised for his skill, cunning and bravery. But when it goes wrong, it is humiliating. Named after former Czechoslovakia forward Antonin Panenka, the kick became famous in a penalty shootout in the final of the 1976 European Championship. So number 32 on this is Ademola Lookman. It was number 1 on the other list. Since then, many have imitated his kick, often in some huge pressure moments. Here, from the bad to the great, a look at some memorable Panenka penalties. Yes, he's at number 32 in this one. Deep into added time at the London Stadium and a goal down to West Ham in a Premier League clash in November 2020. Fulham won a penalty. Ademola Lookman stepped up to take it, but got it all wrong. The Nigerian international scuffed his attempt at a Panenka and squandered a golden chance to seal a point, as his effort was easily saved by Lucas Fabianski. It was so bad that he even had to be consoled by West Ham's players afterwards. Raheem Sterling, yeah, number 31 on here. Manchester City were taken to penalties by Leicester City in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup in December 2018. And Pep Guardiola's side eventually prevailed in the shootout. But that was no thanks to Raheem Sterling, attempting a Panenka. The England goal attacker got it all wrong and chipped his effort over the crossbar. Leicester goalkeeper Danny Ward laughed in Sterling's face. But Manchester City went on to win 3-1 on penalties. There we go, him laughing in his face there. Number 30, Peter Crouch. Peter Crouch scored a hat-trick for England against Jamaica at Old Trafford ahead of the 2006 World Cup and showed off his robot celebration for the first time after his second goal. In an eventful afternoon for the former Liverpool and Spurs striker, he also failed miserably with an attempted Panenka, clearing the crossbar with a terrible effort. Javier Hernandez, 29. Javier Hernandez scored a memorable Panenka penalty for LA Galaxy against Vancouver Whitecaps in a 5-2 win in August 2022. But the following month, the former Man United and Real Madrid forward was left red-faced as his Panenka effort was easily saved in the 2-2 draw against Kansas City. Missing the opportunity to seal a 3-2 win late in the game, Chicharito held his hands up to the fans in an apologetic gesture there. Jason Cummings at 28. Jason Cummings stepped up with a swagger to take a penalty for Hibernian against Dundee United in the team's 2016 Scottish Cup semi-final, but chipped his Panenka effort over the crossbar. Later, Cummings got a second chance and scored with a more conventional technique in the shootout to send Hibs to the final, where they went on to beat Rangers. Asked why he had attempted the Panenka in such a big moment, Cummings said, "With my new Barnet haircut and that, I felt I looked more like Andrea Pirlo, so I tried to dink it, but obviously it didn't come off." Number 27, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Pierre-Emerick hit a wonderful Panenka penalty for Borussia Dortmund against Eintracht Frankfurt in 2015. But the former Arsenal and Chelsea striker was less fortunate when he tried it again 2 years later. In a Bundesliga clash against Augsburg, Aubameyang chipped his spot kick straight down the middle. But goalkeeper Marwin Hitz stood his ground and made an easy save. Ouch. Sergio Aguero, 26. Panenka penalties have been on the rise in recent years, and often goalkeepers are now half expecting the technique to be used by certain players. The surprise element is being lost. There wasn't much wrong with Sergio Aguero's execution in the Argentines' attempted Panenka for Man City against Chelsea in May 2021. But Edouard Mendy saw it coming. The Senegalese goalkeeper went to dive, but adjusted quickly to save the kick with one hand. Aguero looked silly. Chelsea came back to win 2-1. And the Argentine later apologised. But the Sky Blues still won the title, and Aguero left as a legend a few weeks later. To be fair to Aguero, he also scored a lovely Panenka penalty against Schalke in a 7-0 win in the Champions League in 2019. Yes, Gary Lineker at 25 here. I already mentioned him on that other list, but he's at 25 with this one. Trying a Panenka when he had the chance to equal Bobby Charlton's goal-scoring record for England was probably not Gary Lineker's best decision. In a friendly against Brazil at Wembley, Lineker attempted to dink the ball over Carlos, but did not get enough elevation on his effort, and the goalkeeper saved easily. The former Barcelona and Spurs striker never did score a game for England. Danny Parejo at number 24. Valencia left it late against Lille in a Champions League clash at Mestalla in November 2019, coming from behind with 4 goals in the final 25 minutes to seal a 4-1 win. Danny Parejo got the equaliser with a delicious Panenka chipped straight down the middle. The midfielder went on to miss one for Villarreal against Celta Vigo in 2023, though, as he fooled the goalkeeper but sent his effort just over the crossbar in a 2-1 win. Zlatan Ibrahimovic at 23. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has always had an eye for the spectacular. And the former Sweden striker scored some stunning goals in his long playing career. Ibrahimovic hit a memorable Panenka penalty for PSG against Lyon in December 2013, and netted another for LA Galaxy in a 2-1 win over Portland Timbers in March 2019. Aaron Ramsey, 22. Aaron Ramsey scored a Panenka penalty for Wales against Serbia in the World Cup qualifier in Belgrade in June 2017, which finished 1-1. Ramsey's Panenka was notable because he scored it at the Rajko Mitic Stadium, which was the ground where Anthony Panenka had made the technique famous back in 1976. Number 21, Neymar. There was some controversy at PSG in 2021 as Neymar was chosen to take the penalties ahead of both Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. But the Brazilian was always reliable from 12 yards. He would often wait for the goalkeeper to commit and sometimes even try a Panenka. His goal for Barcelona against Villarreal in 2016 was a memorable one and a big improvement on his failed attempt for Santos versus Vitoria years earlier, which was comfortably saved by the goalkeeper. Number 20, Alan Velasco. Alan Velasco joined FC Dallas from Independiente on February the 1st, 2002. An attacking midfielder produced a moment of genius in the MLS Cup playoffs against Minnesota United. Velasco wanted to take the fifth kick in the shootout and chip the Minnesota goalkeeper with an exquisite Panenka. Dane Sinclair had dived the right way, but was left flailing as the ball sailed over his head to give FC Dallas the win. Gutsy. Cristiano Ronaldo, number 19. Cristiano Ronaldo scored well over 100 penalties in his career, but not many of those have come via a Panenka. His effort against Ludogorets in the Champions League in December 2014 was not strictly a Panenka. Despite being described as such, his goal for Juventus against Spezia in November 2020 definitely was, though. Number 18, Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry scored some sublime goals for Arsenal in a wonderful 8-season spell with the Gunners between 1999 and 2007. Among those many special strikes was a gorgeous Panenka penalty winner against Newcastle in September 2003, which was chipped straight down the middle as goalkeeper Shay Given dived to his left. It was used less frequently back then too. Number 17, Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay likes a Panenka. The Dutch forward has scored some spectacular efforts with a technique for club and country. Depay beat Hugo Lloris with a perfect Panenka as the Netherlands defeated France in the UEFA Nations League in 2018 and netted another superb chipped effort for Lyon against Nice in 2021. Two of many and two of the best you will see. Number 16, Giuseppe Mascara. Mascara, not Mascara. Mascara. Giuseppe Mascara's Panenka penalty for Catania against Inter in 2010 is definitely one of the most satisfying to watch. A perfectly flighted chip which floated past the already committed Julio Cesar. The Brazilian goalkeeper got quickly back up on his feet and kindly watched the ball hit the back of the net. The goal put Catania 2-1 up, and the Sicilian side went on to win 3-1 against the soon-to-be treble winners. At number 15, Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard loved a Panenka penalty, and the former Chelsea favourite scored a number of times with that technique from 12 yards out with both the Blues and previous club Lille. Perhaps the best one of all came in the 2019 Carabao Cup final, when the Belgian beat Edison with a lofted effort which flew over the outstretched Brazilian to level the scores in the shootout at 3-3. Unfortunately for Hazard and Chelsea, Raheem Sterling stepped up next to fire the winning spot kick past keeper Kepa Arrizabalaga in a match which will be remembered for the Spanish goalkeeper's refusal to be substituted. Yeah, headed shootout. Do remember that. Yeah, definitely do. Number 14, Odsonne Edouard. Former Celtic forward Odsonne Edouard is one of a select group of players who have scored a Panenka penalty in a major final. Edouard beat Craig Gordon with a Panenka to make it 2-0 to Celtic against Hearts in the 2020 Scottish Cup final. Hilariously, Gordon then threw the ball at his former teammate. Celtic went on to win on penalties after a 3-3 draw, but Edouard had been substituted by then. Number 13, Fabinho. Liverpool beat Chelsea 11-10 on penalties at Wembley to win the 2022 EFL Cup. And the Blues goalkeeper, Kepa Arrizabalaga, was the only player not to convert. Kepa was not able to save any of Liverpool's penalties and could only watch as Fabinho's Panenka flew past him to put the Reds 2-1 up early in the shootout. The Brazilians' effort was met with huge cheers from the Liverpool fans at Wembley. Number 12, Artem Milevsky. Ukraine and Switzerland played out 120 minutes of goalless football in the last 16 of the 2006 World Cup in a contest described as the dullest game in World Cup history by The Guardian. It did at least have the drama of a penalty shootout, and after Andrei Shevchenko had failed to score Ukraine's first, Artem Milevsky put the blue and yellow ahead with a perfectly executed Panenka. The forward followed it up by putting his finger over his lips, presumably to silence the Swiss fans. Ukraine won the shootout 3-0. Number 11, Francesco Totti. Francesco Totti converted Italy's third penalty in the Azzurri's shootout success over the Netherlands in the semi-finals of Euro 2000. But it turned out to be the winner, as both Paolo Maldini and Paul Bosvelt went on to miss theirs. The legendary Roma forward beat Edwin van der Sar with a chip Panenka effort down the middle in Amsterdam to seal a 3-1 win on penalties. Years later, he missed one for Roma against Lecce when goalkeeper Vincenzo Signano stood his ground to make a routine save. Number 10, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi's most famous Barcelona goal is run from the halfway line, which was reminiscent of Diego Maradona's famous effort against England, was scored against Getafe in 2007. And in 2015, the Argentine attacker netted a superb Panenka penalty against Getafe at Camp Nou. The execution was the best I've ever seen, Panenka himself said later. High praise. Messi went on to score quite a few more over the years, including another gorgeous effort against Lyon in the Champions League in 2019. Helder Postiga, number 9. Helder Postiga spent the 2003-04 season at Tottenham Hotspurs and scored just 2 goals for the North London club, with only one of those coming in the Premier League. But in the quarterfinals of Euro 2004, Postiga perhaps proved a point to his critics, scoring a late equaliser for Portugal against England to force extra time, and then an audacious Panenka effort in the shootout as the hosts won 6-5 on penalties. At number 8, Karim Benzema. Real Madrid were 2 goals down to Man City in the team's Champions League semi-final first leg, when Karim Benzema stepped up to take a late penalty. If Madrid were to have any chance of progressing in the tie, the French forward had to score, and he did, chipping a delicious Panenka effort past Edison to close the deficit to 1 goal. It was a loss, but felt almost like a win. Madrid went on to win the tie after an epic late show in the second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu, and claimed their 14th European Cup a few weeks later. Ice cool. Yeah. Number 7, Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez will forever be remembered by Chile fans for the moment when the South American nation won their first ever major trophy in football. Sanchez scored the winning penalty as Chile beat Argentina to win the 2015 Copa America on home soil. The forward's Panenka might not have been the prettiest as it stayed very low and bounced before it crossed the line, with Argentina goalkeeper Sergio Romero having dived to his left. But it did the trick to make a moment of history for Chile. Number 6, Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos was widely mocked for his wild penalty miss for Real Madrid against Bayern Munich in the 2011 Champions League semi-finals. So when the defender stepped up in the shootout for Spain against Portugal in the Euro 2012 semi-finals, just over a year later with the scores at 2-2, there would have been plenty of nerves for watching fans. But Ramos remained cool and beat Rui Patricio with a sublime Panenka as Spain won 4-2. And later in his career, he would become something of a penalty specialist for both club and country. The defender scored a lovely Panenka for Madrid against Galatasaray in 2019, but missed 2 penalties in a 1-1 draw for Spain against Switzerland in November 2020, including a scuffed attempt at a chip. Number 5, Achraf Hakimi. Morocco beat both Spain and Portugal en route to the last for the 2022 World Cup, becoming the first African and Arab nation to reach the semi-finals of the tournament. Following a 0-0 draw against Spain in the last 16, Achraf Hakimi handed the Atlas Lions a win in the shootout as he beat Unai Simon with an exquisite Panenka penalty on the decisive kick. Brave. Number 4, Sebastian Abreu. Sebastian Abreu is nicknamed El Loco, and the Uruguay striker showed nerves of steel as he scored a Panenka penalty. Scored a Panenka penalty with a decisive kick to send the South Americans to the semi-finals of the 2010 World Cup. After Luis Suarez had handballed on the line in the last minute of extra time to deny Ghana victory, and Asamoah Gyan missed the resulting penalty, Uruguay came out on top in the shootout. Comparing his kick to Zinedine Zidane's in the 2006 World Cup final, he said afterwards, "Crazy? No, magic. So why not Abreu?" Number 3, Andrea Pirlo. Italy were 2-1 behind against England in the team's penalty shootout in the quarterfinals of Euro 2012. But there was to be only one winner after Andrea Pirlo's Panenka past Joe Hart. Seeing the England goalkeeper dive to his left, Pirlo hit the most delicate of chips, which appeared to travel in slow motion as it made its way into the net. It is one of the most aesthetically pleasing Panenka penalties you will see. Italy went on to win the shootout and made it to the final. Pirlo previously missed the Panenka penalty in the Gamper Trophy against Barcelona in 2010, but this more than made up for it. Number 2, Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane opted for a Panenka penalty in the biggest game of all, as the France forward chipped a shot past Italy goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon in the 2006 World Cup final. But he almost missed. Zidane's kick hit the underside of the crossbar and bounced back out. It crossed the line, though not by much, and did not even hit the net. Later Italy equalised through Marco Materazzi, and in the extra time, Zidane was sent off in his last ever professional game for headbutting the Italian defender. We all remember that, of course. The Azzurri went on to win on penalties. And of course, number 1 is Antonin Panenka. The original and the best. It takes something special to beat the Germans on penalties, yeah. And Antonin Panenka produced a moment of genius to score the decisive penalty for Czechoslovakia against West Ham in the final of the 1976 European Championship. Panenka had been working on the technique for a while, staying behind after training to practice penalties with Bohemians goalkeeper Zdeněk Hruška, playing for a bar of chocolate or a glass of beer. After using it in friendlies and minor leagues, he showed it off to the world in the Euro 1976 final and created a play which now bears his name and has been imitated ever since. Football history. Yeah, so that was it, basically. That was all of them. Worst to the best. I mean, it just shows what will happen if it works. Yes, it looks great. If it does work, if you get it right. But if you get it wrong, you're left with egg on your face, And that's what happened to Ouattara. Anyway, guys, I've gone going well over 2 hours here. Nobody else, is in the live chat. Everyone's gone. I thought that was quite interesting, talking about Panenkas, but obviously nobody's watching. Well, not in the live chat. Hopefully people are watching live or on playback. Thanks to everyone once again. Got to over nearly 200. I think it's nearly 200 views, or maybe more. Now we'll just check. I think it's gone over 200. I'm on 223 subs, by the way, guys. So thanks for that. No, I think it's on 195 views. Yeah, 195 views now. Not quite to 200, but it should get there, I would have thought. It should. I ended up doing 2 in the end, splitting it into 2 because the coverage went off when I was watching the first one. And the watch along, the TNT coverage went off for some reason. Well, not their coverage. I think it's to do with my Wi-Fi, maybe. Something to do with that. But anyway, so I've done a second part. Doing a watch along for the extra time and everything, penalties. And that's also got over 100 views, about 125 now. So, actually going very well. And as I say, 223 subs. Please keep that going up, guys. Let's get to 250. I want to get to 250. My next milestone. Please keep following me on Insta, Mr. B for Life 182, and sub to Mr. B, Hi the Football Chat. Smash those likes. Keep subbing if you're new, guys. Come on. Let's go. Let's keep this going. This is great stuff. It's really getting my channel shooting up onwards and upwards as usual. Let's keep it going. Thanks to everyone that has been in the live chat. This has gone on longer than I expected it to be honest. But with that Panenka thing, with Tara Panenka, it sort of was on my mind about talking about that, and you know, showed how disastrous it can be if it goes wrong, if you don't get it right. If you're left looking like a bit of a numpty, basically, you know. And Watara was left looking like an absolute numpty, you know. And I just hope, I don't think he will be disciplined. I don't think he'll be left out somehow. But as long as he never takes that sort of penalty again, I would never let him take another one, to be honest, for quite a while. I just wouldn't. You can't do that. Well, if he has to, it's got to be proper. He can't do that again. No way. There's just no way. I wouldn't do it again. No way. I hope he lives and learns from that. I really do. I hope he learns. So we're out though. We are out the FA Cup. So that's something we can't win. But we're still going for Europe. We're still trying for Europe and Europa Conference, I guess. I'm not totally sure we're going to do that either, but if we do, we do. It'd be incredible. I'm still not backing Keith Andrews though, by the way, guys. I'm still not behind him totally. I'm backing the team. I'll still back my club. It's my club for all these years, so why not? But the manager doesn't get my vote of confidence until he achieves something. And I don't know when that'll be, if it will be, ever. If we achieve Europe this year, maybe. If we do. But that's still a big if, and it's not confirmed. But anyway, guys, join me for the next one, the next stream, which will be obviously the preview for the Wolves game. Although I might do a buzz before that, maybe the buzz one about relegation fight. Maybe I might do that. That maybe tomorrow, possibly tomorrow or Thursday. But I'm going to bounce, guys. I'm out of here. This has been a good stream, hopefully. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. But for now, I'm going to go. And until the next one, guys, I'm out of here. See you all for the next one. Cheers, everyone. Thanks. Bye.